Oh, hey, welcome. We have a podcast. You should listen to it. Let us entertain you.
Yeah, we're gonna entertain you like this.
That's hey, that's a little too much energy.
Oh,
Like
okay.
we're not doing accordion. We're gonna be nice and calm. I'm really bad at this. But yeah.
Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to the podcast. Woo!
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Frogs and Grog.
Welcome back.
Oh,
Let's start with a question, yeah?
yeah.
So, question. This has to do with the theme for today. First of all, this episode we're doing a couple different things, but the question is, what are your thoughts on the new D&D 2024 content?
Mm-hmm.
Let us know. We're going to be talking about that here in a little bit. But first, we're going to start with, because it's New Year's when we release this, should be January 1st. We want to talk a little bit about our channel and like our podcast and just what our goals are for the future, what our growth's going to look like, and
Yeah, we're
what's up with
basically doing our Hooters video, but in
in real life.
actual channel.
So Levi's going to start wearing a mini skirt.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's just like the Hooters. Anyways.
So
yeah, you wanna kick that off?
Yeah, so first off, super exciting news. We're about a fifth of the way to our monthly listens or monthly listeners to getting our second stretch goal that we've made, which is having 100 listeners in 30 days. So we've gotten, it's actually slightly more than a fifth. It's actually 22 was our highest amount of listeners we had during a 30-day period.
Awesome.
So, you guys are killing it out there. Keep sharing with your friends. If you are sharing it with your friends. If you're not, share it with your friends.
Share it with
also,
friends. Maybe don't share it with your family. I'm just kidding. Share it with it's fine.
Also, keep liking the videos. That helps the
Yes.
algorithms. And subscribing and following and leaving comments. All those
Yes.
things. All those good
Yes.
good things.
Oh yeah. Very helpful.
Let's see. So, after we get to that goal, I believe what we had said is that we're going to start a Patreon, because we're probably not going to actually end up monetizing on the Spotify, which that's
On
the reason that the 100 listeners is the goal, is because that's how much you need in order to start monetizing on Spotify. And we're probably not going to end up doing that, but we are going to make a Patreon. So,
Yes. Have
if
some
you're
more
interested in that,
interesting
in our
content
feet.
there. Yeah. We're gonna probably do bigger projects there that take a little bit more effort and time to make, and so that way it's a little bit more worth it on our end, right?
Yep.
But yeah, if you guys subscribe to that once we make it, that'll help us grow, and you guys get some interesting content.
Yeah, hopefully interesting. If it's not interesting, why are you here?
Right. So, anyways, is there anything else you think?
Let's see. I think we were going to go into some future content that we were going to make. So,
Oh yes.
you kick that off.
All right, so we did do a little episode on starting our winter arc, right? But we actually do need to start a winter arc here, a real winter arc. So one option, or one thing we're looking at trying out is a gym vlog series. We're not very experienced with working out or anything like that, so obviously we're not going to be perfect, but that could be really fun. Part of that has to go, or is part of a later thing, so it's important, right? For us to go to the gym and get yoked. We're not gonna get yoked, obviously, in like
Dude,
a half a year or
we're
whatever.
going to get
but,
so yoked. It's going to be crazy. We
another
got to eat eggs. Raw eggs.
Oh yes, lots.
That's
of
the
dude,
only thing.
You can't get yoked without yolks, dude.
Literally.
Oh yeah, we still want to get the. We still want to do the RPG in real life D&D thing. What was our goal for that again?
I don't even remember.
It was,
I think it was pretty dang
might
high,
have been
though.
like 100 or 1,000.
I think it was
subscribers.
1,000 subscribers.
1,000.
I think
So,
that's
hey, if
what
we
it was.
if we can get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube or 1,000 followers on Spotify, let's get that done. Let's
Both
do it,
of them
guys.
are pretty,
that would be really
pretty
fun.
close in numbers right now. Let's see which one wins. Let's have a race.
Oh yeah, there we go. Root for the podcast, root for YouTube. I mean, they're both the same thing, but they're also not the same thing, right? So
YouTube has more content.
what? No way.
No way.
But anyways, speaking of YouTube, keep looking out for our Friday game episodes.
Yes.
We do those weekly as well. So we do 2 episodes a week. We do Spotify, and then we do game day. Let us know if you want us to play any interesting games in 2025 as well, because we're always looking for new games to play.
Agreed.
I think like that was kind of the big one we were looking at was the gym vlog series, but there's lots of other stuff. We want to do more in real life content, like IRL, but do stuff more in front of a camera, right?
Let us know if you want to see some skit type stuff.
Exactly,
Could be
that's what I
fun.
was about to say too. Yeah, we're in sync because we shared notes before this. So.
No. It's all mind reading.
I think we do as many notes as a DM does before each session for the Dungeons and Dragons game.
Pretty much.
Which is a great segue to our next topic here.
Next topic. So, the next topic we have in front of us the new character sheets from D&D 5.5e, I guess. That's what we're going to call it.
Right. That's what we're calling it, 5.5. Because it's like not changing a lot, but it's changing some of it, you know?
Yeah, you could still pretty much use this for 2014. So.
Right. Yeah, I've got both the sheets up in front of me so I can compare and contrast.
Yeah, I gotta find one of my older sheets.
Nice.
One?
I just pulled up PDFs online because it was easier since I have 3 monitors. Well,
I have my book in front of me.
Nice.
I'm going analog.
You're going analog?
Yes.
I'm going analog. What?
God. That is disgusting. Alright.
Analog. Anyways.
So, first things first. What's the thing that you said earlier that they're missing from the top area?
The player name.
Yeah.
We don't got no player name no more. Where's the
Kinda
player
weird.
name at? Like, what happens if you leave your sheet? I mean, obviously everyone knows that stuff, but like, I don't know. I just feel like that's an essential part of keeping track of your stuff.
And I feel like if you
played
go
what
play
character.
with, like, if you're playing with one character and then you move to a different group and use the same character.
Right,
like-
or if you go play at a big, like, convention,
Yeah.
yeah, you're gonna lose your sheet, bro. But also they got rid of the dragon, bro.
Yeah.
Right next to the character name. Where's that? I mean, I know they're trying. It looks like they're trying to simplify things a little
In
bit,
the
but like,
second
dang.
sheet, they have at the top, they've got all the characters. I should
Oh, yeah.
probably have this pulled up so that the audience can see.
That
Would be smart. Hold on.
Yeah, not
Let
my
me-
help.
Okay, there we go. Perfect.
All right.
Now you can see this sheet. What I was
Yes.
talking about there. Right up here, you can see that there is. Oh, my mouse thing isn't showing up. That's weird. Oh, there it is.
Oh, weird. Your
Um,
cursor.
yeah. Okay. So this image is there. The old one. It had a few different images.
Right, the old one's got the dragon on the first one. The one with all the character info has like a little battle against some skeletons. And the third one's got like, it looks like a spell.
It kind of looks like a wave. I don't know.
Yeah, some sort of wavy spell thing. But yeah.
So this one only has one picture.
Mhm.
Which, good for our printers, I guess.
Yeah, right. Saving some ink. But man, it's very. I mean, okay, both character sheets are pretty compact,
Mm-hmm.
but they're just I mean, they're organized fairly similarly.
Yeah.
Kind of. They've moved some stuff around a little bit. I was saying earlier, I really liked that the level is separate from the class spot now, so you can actually. I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's
Yeah,
just
the
better.
class and level being right next to each other is kind of weird. Because
Mhm.
especially with, like, if you were multi-classing, because then you're not cleric level 3. You're
Right.
cleric level 1 plus like rogue level 3 or whatever.
I think it's interesting that they also put a subclass on there as well,
Oh, that is interesting.
which is nice. And instead of race, they're putting species now. That's interesting, but makes sense. Also, I noticed the hit points and hit dice stuff is all smaller, which is good. You did not need that mass of a spot.
Yeah.
Anyways, of a spot for your hit points and hit dice and stuff.
Uh-huh. And then the armor class thing, I think that looks nicer than the old armor class one.
Yeah, I agree. And then I like that you can mark whether or not you have a shield. That's cool. That helps keep track of, I'm using a shield, right? I was also going to say, I think it's interesting that they put the size on there now, which actually is probably something they should have had a while ago, because size is important in D&D.
Size does matter.
Size matters, guys.
You heard it here first.
Yes.
Another thing that I think is interesting is the proficiency bonus. They made such a big box for the proficiency bonus.
Just for me to write like +3.
Yeah,
+2.
It's kind of big. I think that's too big. I think it would have gone perfect next to the initiative, speed, size, passive perception.
Yeah.
Had they just shrunk it down and put it next to that, I think that would have been...
Same thing with the heroic inspiration, which I like that they're calling it heroic inspiration. That's kind of sick.
Mm-hmm.
But they could have easily put those both in a box next to each other.
They could have shrunk them down way more.
Yeah. I like. You were saying you liked that they have the skills with their respective stats.
I love this. So I play with a lot more people who aren't who don't play this game a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll ask. I'll be like, roll an acrobatics check or whatever, and they'll be like, what is that? And I'll be like, look at the little bubbles down there. And see what the number is. But now that it's right there, I think it's going to be so much easier.
It might help a lot, yeah. I will say I did like when they had them all on the same sheet, that they're just in alphabetical order, so even if you can't find it, you just go A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Yeah, that was nice.
But yeah, I'm glad they didn't change too much with the whole modifiers and scores and saving throws and all that. Like, it's not super changed, but it's better for sure. The weapons and first of all, they added damage cantrips, which is sick. To that, which I think helps, but it's a lot bigger, which is what we needed. We needed that bigger.
Dude, me trying to write like quarterstaff in the tiny little space they provided. Yeah. It's like, okay, sure.
And then if your damage has finesse, you're like, or sorry, not damage. If your weapon has, I think it's finesse, where you can either do one-handed or two-handed, so you get a higher damage with two-handed. It's like, bruh, I can't write both damages in there plus the type.
And I love the notes, dude. The notes slot there is so good.
That's so good, especially if it's like, oh yeah, it has a special condition. You can write that down now.
Instead of having to write down like with all of your items on your separate sheet of paper. We were just talking about this. So the equipment, we always write it on a separate sheet of paper because there's just too much equipment.
Right.
And I also think that that's another point on this one. It still has a tiny equipment thing.
Yeah.
This is the equipment training and proficiencies, but this one's the equipment slot.
Right.
It's kind of small.
Yeah. So they completely nixed the third page from 14, but what they could have done is made a completely third page just for equipment, and I would have loved it.
Yeah, and they could have had different types of equipment. So like they could have put the coins on that third page, and then weapons, armor, clothes, different stuff,
magic items,
yeah, would have been awesome.
It would have been that would have been really nice, honestly. But I don't mind that they condensed it down to 2 pages, because that's a little bit simpler for new players, especially because like the third page, honestly, half the time I would never even print it.
Yeah, the
like character information page.
Yeah, I mean it's not too great.
It's not super important unless you're like super into detailing your character, which is nice to have that option. But yeah, I never printed it off very often.
I didn't do that either. let's see. The next thing, species traits. That's nice, but I think it's also kind of a big box.
Yeah,
for
it is a
species
little
traits
bit big.
because I feel like there's like 2 or 3 things for each species.
I mean, the ASMRs, however you want to say it, they have a lot of feats, at least in the 2014 5e, and so it's nice to have that bigger box.
Oh wow, they do have a lot.
Yeah, they have some crazy abilities, and
Celestial
so having that bigger
resistance,
box for
dark
some of
vision,
them is nice.
Healing hands, light bearer, celestial revelation, heavenly wings, inner radiance, necrotic
Yeah.
shroud. Holy cow!
Yeah, you end up choosing only like one of those things from the end out of like 3, but it's still nice to have all those options.
Mm.
I also like that they have a specific box for feats now.
Yes.
That's nice
Dude.
to have because I mean I don't play with feats very often, but when I do, it's nice to keep track of them separately from everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And the class features is massive. Oh my gosh!
Thank
I might be able to
goodness.
fit maybe half my class features in there instead of like a quarter.
I
Don't
don't feel like I write big until I start writing on the D&D pages. And I'm like, I write massive, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Like, don't get me wrong. Can I always just open the book? Yes, but it's so much more convenient to just look at my paper that I'm
And I
already
feel
working
like-
on.
I feel like whenever you're in the middle of like role play, you've got like an exciting scenario going, and you're like, I want to use this ability, and then you're like, oh, what does that do? And then you have to go look through the book like 5 pages, and you're like,
Right.
Where is this specific information I'm looking for? And then you're like, oh, there it is. Okay, now I want to do that, and it just kind of ruins the
Yeah.
whole mood.
Yeah.
So with that, hopefully it'll
Hopefully.
keep you in the game more.
Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, can we talk about the spells sheet here? This is amazing. I love this.
Yeah.
It's so much more compact than the gigantic spell sheet that is the spells page.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's just an excess of spots there. You don't need all of those spots.
Yeah.
Because most of the time, you can't even prepare enough spells to fit in there.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the point in having so many
See.
spots? You know, like, dude, 1,
Level
2, 3,
3
4,
spells
5, 6, 7.
has-
Dude, I'm never gonna have 7 level 9 spells prepared, or not even just prepared, but like known,
Yeah, and
or in my yeah.
excuse me. Ooh. And you're never gonna have like 13 of the level 3 spells. Ooh.
Right. Yeah, you don't need that many. And sure, you can be like, oh, I want to switch them out and all that stuff, and these are the ones that I like. I've played a wizard before. I've never needed 13 level 3 spells that I swap between.
Yeah, it's kind of a lot.
Never have I ever. So, now I will say the cantrip spot on the old one is a little small, but because you can
Mhm.
have a ton of cantrips. But anyways, so I like that you just have a list here that you can fill out how you want to, and then
I
you can put in all the
love the concentration ritual and required
Yes.
materials. That is
Yes.
so nice because whenever, like, if I'm playing D&D with people, we'll just be like, cast a spell. I don't care what you need.
yeah
You have
exactly.
it.
I mean, 90% of the time it's like, oh yeah, it's just through your arcane focus or your holy symbol or whatever.
Mhm.
But it's like also there's some of them that need a diamond that's worth like 1,000 GP or whatever.
Yeah, just
So,
for no reason, and you're like, okay, that's cool.
Like, sick, thanks, dog. I like that they also put the casting time and range in there because that's something I think a lot of people forget as well. It's like,
Mhm.
oh, what if this takes several turns to cast, and what's my range look like on that spell?
Yeah, I definitely think that this is kind of like making it easier to play any class that uses more magic.
Right. Something I have is I have this box full of spells, but it's only for like paladin or whatever. But they're these little cards that have the spell descriptions on them, which is really nice. But this makes that a little bit obsolete, which is fine because this means you don't have to pay extra money for that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Or pull out your book to be like, oh, I gotta find this spell. Ah!
Speaking of spells, this isn't related to the character sheet, but it is
Right.
in the new book. And
Oh yes.
it actually puts all of the class spells with the class.
Yeah.
Which, thank God.
For real. So nice.
I like it how
see.
they separated the languages from the
Yeah.
proficiencies one.
Yeah, it's
'Cause I
kind of
feel
nice
like-
to have that in its own spot.
Yeah. I feel like everything on the old ones was just too crowded and put together.
Yeah, they do have a small spot for your character appearance just to describe him, which isn't too bad.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. The coins finally have their own spot. They're not
Yes.
lumped in with the equipment, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
So they can stay there. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much all I'm thinking about it. It's really, really nice setup. It's definitely gonna be interesting to get used to, and there's a couple things I wish were different, but like, bro, where's all my personality traits? Where's my ideals, bonds, flaws? I mean, don't get me wrong, do I fill those out all the time? No, but they're important to know, right?
Yeah. I feel like
mean-
that's gonna have to go into like backstory and personality, but
Right.
I wish that it had like at least just the words there on it. Like
Mhm.
maybe in the middle somewhere, like
Somewhere where you can write them down easier.
Mhm.
And see, if they did what we were saying about coins and equipment and put them in a different section, like made a whole page for it, they could extend that backstory and personality spot,
Yep.
take up more space, and then you would have an actually good amount of room to do that. But also, can we say the equipment and training and proficiencies and stuff with the light, medium, heavy armor? Like, that's sick. I like that a lot.
That is sick.
I really love how they organized that. That's really cool.
That's gonna be so nice using that one.
Oh, yeah.
Overall,
just
I
having to remember-
really do think that you could just straight up take this sheet and then just transfer all your 2014 character information onto these ones.
Right, which I think was the idea behind most of the 24 stuff, was to make it still compatible, but just better.
Mm-hmm.
Which they've made it definitely better. Would I use this sheet over the 2014? Maybe. I'm just used to the 14 because I've been playing with it for like 6 years.
I might try swapping my character
Mhm.
into this sheet just to
Yeah.
see what it looks like.
Smart idea.
and then just try it out for a little bit. Still keep
Mhm.
the 2014 ones, because 2014 ones are pretty good.
Nostalgia.
Nostalgia.
I actually know how to fill out a 2014 character sheet.
That's real. We gotta do
Man.
a episode on using the... Is it 4E, the books that we got?
Oh yeah, we got to talk about making a 4E character versus a 5E character. Oh my gosh.
Holy cow, dude.
I made a 4E character once, and it is insane.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah. I literally had to watch a video on how to make it. It was so bad. Oh, man. So, anyways, I don't think there's a whole lot more I'm seeing that pops out at me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad they made the initiatives speed and the initiative and speed spots. So it's just a little bit smaller. I mean, they're longer, but they're also a smaller box. I don't know. Actually, no.
I think they're
Are they
bigger.
bigger? They
I
are
think they're
bigger, bro.
But I think that they take up less space on the page. Like, if that makes
Maybe.
sense. Because I
Right.
feel like this thing was all about, like, making things look good, but also making their spots not so, like, in the way of everything.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, 14 was organized pretty good. This one does feel just a little bit clusterfucky, but it's like not too bad. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a lot to get used to. So, anyways, I think that's pretty much all I have to say about
I
that.
think that's pretty much all I have to say as well. Second question of the day. What are some of you guys' New Year's resolutions? If
Oh,
you
yes.
made any. Let us know in the comments.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's it.
I
Thanks,
think so.
thanks for listening, guys. Keep listening through this next year. We'll be here. We appreciate you guys. Stay
Big
groggy.
preach. Stay groggy.
Leaving so soon. Hope we see you next time.